Good evening to you, everybody. Meteorologist Dontae Jones here in the Dick Goddard Weather Center, and just want to give you a quick update on the big weather story of the nation, and that is Hurricane Helene. It will probably be making landfall within the next 50 minutes ish or so. So we'll just get you caught up on what's happening there and then how it will impact us as we head into the weekend. I shan't be long with you, but let's get caught up anyway, though. Nonetheless, all right. Here's where it stands right there. There's the satellite and radar. It is very close to the Florida coastline, and I wanted to zoom out here just to show you where the entirety of the storm. But then you'll notice those tornado watch boxes. If you know anything about hurricanes, and if you joined us maybe at the 7 o'clock hour, and I was talking with Joe and Liz, is that oftentimes it's just par for the course that hurricanes spawn tornadoes, and so you got tornado watches all up and down the Florida and Georgia coastline there, and we'll scoot in a little bit closer, and I'll show you that the eye wall has not yet hit the Florida coast, which means the storm, until the eye wall hits, the storm itself technically has not made landfall. However, the National Weather Service and the National Hurricane Center over the past decade have really tried to come out with the messaging in that you don't necessarily technically need the official making landfall terminology before you start to get concerned. This is impacting folks far before the storm has made landfall. So we start to talk about more of the impacts of storms. So let's take example, this storm, let's say a fast-moving Category 4 storm, and even though it's going to have a big storm surge, have a lot of flooding, a very slow-moving Category 1 hurricane could actually have more prolific flooding and damage than a quick-moving Category 4 hurricane, because a slow-moving Cat 1 is going to keep that wind going, keep the rain going, keep the storm surge going, because it's just so slow-moving. And so people will oftentimes get caught up in oh, well, it's not a Cat 5 or a Cat 4, so, it's a Cat 1, whatever. But if it's a slow-moving Cat 1, those impacts are going to impact you very deeply. And so that's what the terminology, and that's what the message is the impact of the storm. So nonetheless, this is a big storm, so it's going to impact Florida, and it's already been impacting Florida. If you've been watching our newscast this evening, you've seen videos and pictures out of flooding and wind damage and what have you, and you'll see that through the course of the next few hours here as this thing makes landfall, and through the night and through the day tomorrow and the coming days for that matter. If you are on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, I'm going to try my best over tonight and the coming days to share some posts and things like that that I see as well. I've already shared one to my story on Instagram during the newscast there of a bridge in Tampa being inundated with waves, but people still driving across it. Crazy. So if you're on social media, I have 2 Facebook pages, an Instagram and a Twitter page, so you can follow me there if you so desire. All right. Still currently Category 4, 130 mile an hour sustained winds, 155 mile an hour gusts. So imagine 155 mile an hour gusts pushing the ocean and pushing waves towards the shore. And that's what that storm surge is. As you push those waves with all that wind towards the shore, the ocean literally comes on shore and it inundates the coastal communities. So as this storm moves inland, it is a powerful storm. Even as it moves into southern Georgia, it looks to still be a Category 2 hurricane. Even in northern Georgia, where Atlanta is, it looks to be a Category 1 hurricane by Friday morning. And then by Friday evening, it's moving in towards the southern Illinois, Indiana, western Kentucky area. And it just dies out and turns into an area of low pressure, but it sits there and sort of meanders. And because it sits there and meanders, it continues to provide a lot of rainfall for the area, even for us here in Ohio. So you can see there over the coming days, it just sits there. So here is the what's going on with Florida and South Carolina and North Carolina and Georgia and even Alabama. We have got tropical storm warnings on the Atlantic side and hurricane warnings on the Gulf side, and even in the states themselves, because this will still maintain some strength even as it moves onshore, even as it weakens. And there's that storm surge that I talked about all up and down the Gulf Coast of Florida. These winds, these heavy 155 mile an hour wind gusts, literally picks up the ocean and dumps it in there. And so 16 to 20 foot walls of water just comes on shore. So those coastal communities really get flooded. And so that's why a lot of folks are encouraged to evacuate, not only because of the gusty winds that could topple over houses and buildings, but the inundation of water as well. And your services like power lines and poles and what have you, those are just rendered useless as these storms come on shore. So that is one of the reasons, that is so many reasons, there's so many reasons why folks in Florida in the Big Bend and Panhandle area were encouraged to evacuate. This is a little wind velocity thing, and this is an interesting tool because what it does is it shows us the time frame of when the winds reach shore. So I'll back it up just a bit. So even now, folks along the Big Bend area already, and even down in Tampa, already experiencing tropical storm force and hurricane force winds. And within the next 45 minutes or so, you can see right there, the hurricane force winds, the 90 to 140 mile an hour winds, they'll start to move in. And those are over the area for into Florida for at least probably about 4 hours or so. And then even as it moves into southern Georgia, you're still looking at hurricane force winds, 90 to 140 mile an hour winds. And then it moves into northern Georgia. There's Macon, Georgia, still seeing hurricane force winds, even up into Macon, Georgia. And even as it moves into the Atlanta area, category 1 hurricane force winds. So imagine what that does to those type of areas when you're experiencing hurricane force winds and heavy rainfall. Look at this rainfall. And I put up to a foot, but I think that's conservative because some estimates now have been saying up to 15 to 20 inches. So you got the gusty winds that are hurricane force. You got the saturation of water. So you're going to have flooding. You're going to have trees down, power lines down, power outages, damage reports. So the southeastern United States is bracing and really looking at the path of this storm because of all of that. So this storm it's nothing to be trifled with. A category 4 hurricane does a lot of damage with rain and wind. So now the important part for us. So here's how that affects us. So here's the futurecast projection of this storm. So here's about this time right now, as this storm is very close to making landfall, but you don't even need, again, a technical landfall to hear about the catastrophic and devastating impacts of this storm. But as it moves northward, you can follow that storm track as it moves northward. And here's overnight tonight, and then here's first thing in the morning tomorrow. There's 8 o'clock, and you'll notice that 70 and southward in Ohio here, I-70, seeing some rain showers. And that is the area that really needs it. And I'm going to back up just a bit to show you the drought monitor. I want to show you the state one. There we go. So look at that. So if you look at that legend, that exceptional drought and extreme drought and severe drought, most of those are south of 70 in the southern portions of the state. Where we are abnormally dry and a moderate drought, but a lot, and then there's some severe drought here as well, but a lot of the severe, exceptional, and extreme drought is south of us. And so that is where they need much of the rain. And so tropical systems are very good at being drought busters. Now, the bad news in terms of the drought is that we are not getting closer to the center of the storm where the heaviest rainfall is at. We're getting the outer bands where that'll give those folks down there maybe about 1 to 3 inches of rain, which will help a lot. And then those of us up north, maybe a quarter of an inch to an inch if we're lucky. But the whole state, you saw there, the whole state just about is under some sort of drought conditions. So this tropical system will do us very well in helping to alleviate some of that. Drought monitor is taken every Tuesday morning about 8 o'clock-ish. And so this last Tuesday at 8 in the morning, we hadn't received much rain yet. So the drought monitor that came out today doesn't reflect the rain that we got Tuesday during the day, where we got those flood advisories and everything, and in places around 76, got about 2-3 inches. That'll be reflected on next week's drought monitor when they take the drought monitor next Tuesday at 8 and then release it next Thursday. And so this as well will be reflected on next week's drought monitor. So we should see some good improvement, some decent improvement next week. So here is, as we're looking at that timestamp and we're going through tomorrow afternoon, there's 3-4 o'clock in tomorrow afternoon. Notice the storm's moving a little further north, so the rain bands are moving a little further north. So tomorrow afternoon around 3-4 o'clock, we get rain showers here in northern and northeast Ohio. Most of the shower activity there you see is light, but there could be a moderate or heavier batch here or there. But it is the moral of the story. It's going to be a drier first half to 3/4 of the day, but then by about 3-4 o'clock, the rain comes in here, and it's going to be a soggy late afternoon, soggy evening, a night or an evening on the town. Look at that, scattered showers around for us. So take the rain gear if you're going to the Friday night games for high school football, if you're just going to see a show or going to the movies or going out to dinner or what have you. It's going to be one of those showery type of evening, so you do want the rain gear with you there for that. It's going to be gusty too, because we got a tropical system that's going to pass by our south. So tomorrow you'll notice the wind gusts up to about 30 miles an hour at times, and temperatures will be okay, about 77. You'll notice the humidity comes up too, so it's going to be a little more of a spring type of feel tomorrow. But you'll also notice as we get into Saturday overnight, into Saturday morning, that the rain chances are a little lower, so it's a little drier. But then because that system is sort of just meandering around, just sitting and meandering around down there in the western Kentucky and southern Illinois and Indiana. But then as we get into Saturday, late afternoon into the evening, more scattered showers start to come our way. So it's scattered showers for Saturday evening into Saturday overnight. And then there's Sunday morning, more scattered showers. Now it's trying to pull off, so we may be a little drier for Sunday afternoon than we are for Sunday morning. If you're going to Woolly Bear like we are, plan for on and off again, scattered light showers. Temperature's going to be in the mid-70s, so it's not going to be cold or hot. The temperatures will be comfortable, but you'll want the umbrella for the on and off again scattered showers. So that is the latest on Helene. So the big story, of course, is all of Florida and the southeastern United States bracing for the devastating impacts, unfortunately. But as far as for us, our forecast, it's going to call for light scattered rain showers starting tomorrow late afternoon in the evening, and kind of gives us on and off again rain showers throughout the weekend. And early part of next week, Monday and Tuesday of next week, we've got scattered showers. As a matter of fact, here, I'll show you the 8-day real quick while we're here on live. So we get rain showers Monday and Tuesday of next week as well. So we got that wetter pattern coming our way. Temperatures stay pretty seasonable. October 1st is Tuesday. Can you believe that already? My goodness. But then October 2nd sure feels like October. 66 for a high next Wednesday, and 49 for an overnight low next Wednesday night. And that 49 is the city temperature, so some outlying areas might be in the lower 40s. Brr. But next Thursday and Friday so far looks good. 72 with some sunshine there. So 8-day forecast looking okay, especially again to help with the drought. And you don't want to get into severe drought and exceptional and extreme drought situations that can start to affect the economy. That can start to affect farmland and crops and things like that. You can ask California, all about that. They experience a lot of drought out there as well. So it's good that we're going to start to get some rain and get into a wetter pattern. But we do have some dry days and some sunshine in there. So again, just real quick, the moral of the story is we'll start to get some rain showers in here tomorrow, late afternoon into the evening. That's going to give us on and off again showers through the weekend and into the early part of next week. But I don't think there are any washouts, any crazy washouts, but it is showery. We will fine tune the forecast because generally the way weather modeling works is once this thing comes on shore, then the weather models have a little better handle on where it's going to go and what other weather phenomena in the atmosphere, what other weather players, fronts and pressures and what have you, how they're going to impact that storm and how the storm is going to impact them as well. So stay with us tomorrow. We'll try and detail out parts of the weekend that are a little drier and a little wetter than others as well. Other than that, I will see you in an hour and a half at 10 o'clock. Have a great evening, everybody.